right, we're an hour in. Just at the first stop. Pick us up some energy drinks. 19 more to go. 2 a.m. We just got into Illinois. Just saw this big opening and figured it's worth taking a look at, so I threw my glasses up. All right, good morning. Scouting day 1, 4 days before season. Glassed up a bull last night. Just getting up out of our little camp here.
Let's go get this thing.
Me and John,
go scout another one.
Yeah. Me and John had a little air mattress in the back of the truck. There's Sam. Wish us luck. Huh? They're like...
Oh, I see him.
Yep. See his horns? He's a good bull, dude. We put eyes on bull number 2 with a herd. They came out on the other side of that knoll right there, came through the little drain, and just walked straight across this open face and went into this timber just like you would think they would. So, just wrapped up morning number 1 of scouting. We are still 4 days from season. Last night we glassed up a good bull like 4 miles away from where we were. It's gonna be a fun one trying to get to him. And then this morning we glassed up another bull way up there in that opening. So we've got 2 really good bulls located. Both of them are, you know, definitely in killable spots. So we're gonna go back out there this evening, see if we can get a pattern on them to understand where they're coming out in the evening, where they're going in the morning, all that kind of thing. But John's over here setting up the griddle, about to start making some breakfast.
Some food.
Finally. I got that on video. Check 0 on our rifles yesterday, and John shot good. We shot mine and shot at 100 yards, hit pretty close to bullseye. Shot again and shot about 8 inches low at 100. And got to playing with the gun and realized that 2 of the 4 screws that hold my scope base onto my rifle action were completely broken. And thus my rifle scope was totally not mounted. It was totally loose. So we thankfully were able to find a local gunsmith about an hour and a half from where we're hunting, and he fixed it up for me. We got up the mountain a good 2.5, 3 hours before dark to check 0, and then we're sitting somewhere we could potentially find that really nice bull, see if he'll come out again in that opening. And we set the target up to check 0. I go to put a shell in the chamber and my bolt won't close, and come to find out one of the screws he put in to hold my scope in is too long. And so now I left Sam and John at the glassing spot to see if they can turn that bull up, and I'm heading all the way back to rifle, which is still another hour and 10 minutes away, hour and 20 minutes away, to meet up with this guy tonight so he will shim the screw down so it'll fit. So, turned into quite a nightmare. Dude, poor little guy.
a second, I was getting excited about it.
How bull elk. All right, it is Friday morning, about 35 minutes before legal light. We are on the day before season. We're heading back out to the same knob we went to yesterday evening. It's about a mile hike. We spotted a 5x6 down there yesterday, and so we're gonna go see what we can see this morning, and then we're gonna pack up and take the drive to go find the first bull we found. But we found 3 good legal bulls, so that's good news. It's about 29 degrees this morning, nice and nippy. Oh dude, he just like randomly started running.
Hey, that's a big bear. He looks big.
I think he's limping. All right, it is the afternoon before opener, and we are hiking in to this basically sanctuary that we found this big bull in. Opening days in the morning. We're about a little over half a mile from the truck, probably 2.5 to go. We're just going down here in this opening that you can see, and it drops off to some pretty gnarly cliffs. So we're hoping he's in there and he'll come show himself in the daylight. Alright, we got up here to our glassing point. Right here's where we saw the bull the other day. Alright, it is opening morning, about 10 minutes after shooting light, and we are set up really close to where we did yesterday evening, down here in this drainage where we glassed a bull up a few days ago. But me and John are here. I've got the spotter right here, and then the guns are set up right there. And Sam is just about 40 yards behind us, living on the other side of this massive point that cliffs off up here. So we're just hoping that he'll show his face for a few minutes. All right, John, you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
You ready for our hike? Oh, goodness. Here is campsite number 2 in the backcountry. We left where we were at the beginning of season, and we're forever 20 miles away from there now. We set up our tent. Just wanted to kind of show our camp set up. So we've got our tent set up here. Sam and John built a wall around it. Here's our stuff. We got me on the yellow mat, John on the blue sleeping bag, and then Sam right here on the dark blue. We've got our campfire right here. Got us some wood. Nice little log to sit on. Got our gear scattered. And then right out this ways, you can kind of see what we're hunting. Tag tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. But like, it's just that you could shoot him right now. I don't know if you can shoot him tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, is there anywhere we can get service right here?
It doesn't matter. It's just yeah, it's not his brow tines. Like its horns are a lot bigger than I thought. That's him right there. It's a nice
All right, well, it's the last day. It's about 10:30. We've been camping right up there on that ledge, glassing from up there the last several days. We spotted the bull about a mile away from us. He was straight up that ways above the cows. The wind is blowing, which means if we get up on top, it's just gonna blow into him. So we're gonna probably hike up and around through this creek bed, stay on this side of the bull who's up there somewhere on the top, way up on the top. And hopefully as our wind's blowing, we'll be safe, so. So we sat at the pond there throughout the majority of midday and just kind of waited for the fog and the sleet and the snow to wear off. And finally there with about 2 hours of daylight left, the storm cleared, and so me and Sam decided that we were just going to turn and head up the mountain, maybe just 100 vertical feet or so to get up to the very top. And we knew that there was some meadows up there, and we were just going to still hunt those meadows out basically to where we came up at just for the rest of the evening. And with it being the last day, we knew we had to be aggressive to give ourselves a chance. And so we came up the mountain and then started working down the top of the ridge. And maybe an hour after we left the pond, we look over to our left in this meadow and can see an elk standing. All we could see was the body. And my initial reaction, just based off the size of the body of the elk, was that it was no doubt a bull. And so I knelt down, flipped my scope caps up, put my crosshairs right behind his shoulder, and flipped the safety off. And just as I was about to squeeze, I had a second thought that I better make sure this is a bull before I pull the trigger. And I'm looking at him through my scope, and it's just so thick. I can see his body, but I just cannot make out any horns on his head. And about that time, the wind, which was questionable at best, got just enough of a turn to it that this bull caught our wind. And as I'm looking at him through my scope, I see him turn, and sure enough, it was that 6-point that we went up there after. The problem is now is he's running dead away from us, and all I can see is his backside, and so I had no shot. Because of the way the wind was blowing and the way that the bull ran, for me and Sam to have any shot at getting back on him, we knew that we had to immediately turn and sprint back the way that we came. Because if we let this bull get too far to our left, then the wind was just going to be so bad, and we knew we wouldn't have any chance. So as just a last-ditch effort, we turned and sprinted for probably 300 yards down this mountain to stay in position. And I took out my cow call and started throwing some cow calls at this bull. And sure enough, he starts softly bugling back at us. And he was just maybe 150 yards below us. And at this point, the bull is no doubt distrusting towards the cow calls. We've only got 20, maybe 15 minutes of daylight left. It's so thick that making any run towards the bull just didn't make any sense, because we would spook him way before we would see him. And long story short, we never did get a chance at that bull after that. Once we met back up with John that night, we found out that at the same time that We were on the 6-point bull. John was down in the bottom off the ridge, walking a creek bed, and had jumped a bull as well. Both of us had got within 60 yards of a bull that we had our sights on. We just were not able to put it together. So we loaded our packs up and began the 2.5-mile trek back to the truck with another year of hard lessons learned and no horns on our back.